Hello, Stephen. I've got your sketches up here. Fantastic work, by the way. But I want to address your written rationale here first before we take a look at the sketches. Now, you're definitely paying attention here. There's no question in my mind that you're on top of this. You're all over this. I mean, you get what's going on completely. And I can clearly see that by your writing. I want to address a couple of things here. Now, you're definitely on the right track thinking about, all right, so there's got to be some sort of consistency in presentation between my word mark, my logo mark, and my monogram. And that's very, very, very true in the real world. When I design brand identity, I take my lockups for my logos and I make sure that they are, I mean, just super, super consistent. Then I take different lockups. By the way, lockup is a different version of the logo. So in other words, you could have a long, a tall version of your logo where the letters, hypothetically the logo mark and the words are stacked. Then you can have a long, narrow version. That's typically where a word mark comes in that you use in a banner situation. Then you could have just a simple icon or logo version, and you could have a monogram version. So yes, indeed, you definitely have different versions of your logos for your client. Different, as different scenarios predicate the need for different size and shapes. Okay, that's good. That's good. We know that, right? And when I design brand, that's exactly how I approach it. So yes, you definitely are making sense here. Now, the one thing that is not a really solid connection is as we're learning how to encode meaning, as we're learning graphic symbolism in terms of developing meaning for our client and depicting that meaning through our visual posture of our logo, our word mark, and our monograms in this case. What we're doing in this class is we're starting out in one direction, moving to another direction, and then moving to another direction. We're not necessarily designing all three at the same time. I don't mean it identically at the same time. I'm just saying at the same times with the same visual intent for the logo, the word mark, and the monogram. So we're doing it a little bit differently in this class in the name of learning. Okay, but I just want to address that you're really, really following things very tightly here, just as I can see through your comments here. So yes, in the real world, when I design branding, I will design all of the logo marks at the same time. I don't necessarily mean literally at the same sitting. I just mean that they're highly cohesive. Okay, now that said, if you take your logos from last week and you say, okay, I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to design my word mark to be relatively close, visually consistent with my logo mark from last week. That is spot on correct, exactly how you do things. The one thing that we don't do is we wouldn't do this. We wouldn't say, okay, so I've got my word mark and I've got my logo, then I've got my word mark. I've picked this logo, I've picked this word mark. Now all of a sudden I'm going to put my word mark together with my logo. All right, that might not work since they were designed separately. Do you see what I'm saying? That's a pretty important concept. Let me know if I need to clarify that any further. Okay, so in other words, what you wouldn't do is you wouldn't say, all right, I'm going to use this for my word mark, and then when it comes together, I'm going to use a version where I'm going to take my logo and put it in front on top of and then call that another version. Do you see what I'm saying? There should be a little bit more conceptual tie than that, and there might be in your work. You might find that some of these will go beautifully with your logo mark. It's just a matter of trial and error, like everything in design is. All right, enough of that. Let's jump to your sketches. These are great. I mean, these are just fantastic. As a matter of fact, well, I'll address that at a different time. But I just think these are fantastic examples. And well, you know what? I would really, really like to use these for examples of excellence for a future class. So as I said, I'll email you on a separate note on that just to get your permission to do so. But these are just phenomenal. I mean, this is professional quality work, Stephen. What do we have here? We've got a bunch of different variations. There is a lot here for your client to choose from, and that's the name of the game. So that's fantastic. No two are really too close. I mean, I think that the variety is beautiful, and I think you've done a great job. You've also done something very smart in that you're labeling each word, and that's again that's relevant because you're not arbitrarily sketching. All right, without the word from your word list, the sketch is arbitrary, right? And that's another really super important concept. So we have to sketch with our word list. It's all part of the process. It's all part of the research process and the data extraction process with the intent of assigning meaning to our visual representation of our client. All right. Really interested in a lot of these. I'm going to let you make your decision as to where you're going to move forward, but I do want to say that these are just fantastic. Okay, so I am really looking forward to seeing the digital versions. Now, I don't see any changes at all here. This is ready for submission, for your final submission, your final task submission for Milestone 3. So great job. All right, 6 minutes is long enough, right? All right, fantastic job. So let's go ahead and move forward. If you have any questions, please let me know. Can't wait to see which direction you're going to take this. Great job. Thank you.